welcome to the travel show, coming this week from Andalusia in Spain. Now, this region is known as a golfer's paradise, but it's also the HQ of a rather lesser known and pacier ball game called Bossaball, which, believe it or not, is played on a trampoline. Now, I've been convinced to give it a go myself a bit later in the show, and who knows how that's going to go.
Whoa!
And finally this week, we're in the small town of Estepona in southern Spain, where I jump in with both feet to learn a ball game that's unlike anything I've tried before. This area to the west of Marbella on the coast is a great place to get stuck into sports. Throughout the year, this municipal complex is crammed with locals getting active with games from tennis and football to basketball and ping pong. But there's one sport that's a little bit different to all of the others. It's called Bossaball. It's like volleyball with elements of football, gymnastics, capoeira, and what's more, it's played on a huge trampoline slash bouncy castle. The rules are fairly simple. 2 teams of 5 aim to get the ball over the net to land in the court of the opposing side. There's usually a musical accompaniment of lively Brazilian samba to get the atmosphere going, and, in an added twist to please the crowds, extra points are awarded for spectacular moves like this. It was the brainchild of Philip Eichmans, a Belgian former music manager whose inspiration came in the 1990s on a Brazilian beach.
They play foot volley there. I saw the real capoeira. I was always a big fan of Brazilian music and also a big soccer fan. I remember that the trampolines was by far the nicest thing to do while you were having physical education classes. And I started to mix that all up, and that's how the mix of volleyball, soccer and gymnastics was born.
Philip's Bossaball dream first became a reality in the mid-2000s. He set up his HQ here in Estepona, and the sport has spread to over 25 countries, culminating in a Bossaball World Cup that's been contested in Turkey and the Netherlands in recent years. This unusual bouncing game has drawn in players across the world and, according to Philip, anyone can play.
In a lot of sports you play them on a rigid floor, let's say, floor structure. So with having the air, it's a lot less pressure on your muscles. That's why, I mean, we had people from until 90 years playing it. So we're up to 100. That's the next idea.
While there aren't any centenarians on the court today, there is a gender mix, which is typical of a Bossaball team.
I think it's really nice to play together because most of the time they say boys are better than girls, but now you play mixed, so that's a really big challenge for girls, I think.
While the game looks like simple fun, there is a serious commitment to making sure Bossaball is easy on the environment. I travelled up to Philip's Bossafarm, just a short drive from the Estepona town, where his team has been busy recycling. Each old inflatable court can be made into 500 shoulder bags.
We transform the PVC that we're not using from the courts to something useful for giving them a new life, basically.
For Philip, this is all part of what it takes to be a modern sport, catering for new sensibilities in a fast-moving world.
The sustainability, it's important for us. To mix various sports is important, and you have that movement because, I mean, some of the older sports were a bit boring too, and they were there to entertain people in small cities, to have them a good Sunday afternoon after going to church. But I mean, things are changing. People have changed, so sports have to adapt to that.
Whether I could adapt to Bossaball was another question entirely, but I wasn't going to miss my chance to have a go.
So you're going to teach me a few of the skills?
We will try to, yeah. Let's see how it goes.
It's really fun. Oh, I am awesome at this. All right. Well, that was quite tough. It looks like it's going to be really fun, and it is. But you also need to be good at stuff, which is unfortunately a bit of a shortcoming in my case. Hitting balls off the head for the first time in my life seemed to be okay, but I couldn't get it over the net. So the worst idea ever is now that I'm going to have a go with the proper team, who, as you probably can see behind me, are really good at this. Prepare yourself, because this is going to be embarrassing.
It's certainly unconventional, but Bossaball is growing. It's one of several new sports that may yet challenge the traditional games and even one day come to redefine what we consider sport.
In the meantime, don't forget you can check us out on social media too. The details of how to do that are on the screen now. But for now, from me, Crystal Auld, and the rest of the Travel Show team here in Spain, it's goodbye.